Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is the very first deathmatch tournament of Age of Mythology rev0lt. Let's get it on. In the blue color, we've got Revolt playing as Poseidon, and his opponent on the other side of the map playing as the red Isis. This is Dornth. Now, deathmatch. I have to explain it, I think. Guys, this game mode starts with a ton of resources, as you can tell, and oh my god, what is going on with the camera? And advancing throughout the ages is pretty much instantaneous. It takes 5 seconds to advance. As you do that, you get your technologies from the given age. So you make the temple and go up to classical, you immediately have all the upgrades from classical. Then you make all these buildings and it's time to start pumping. Now, wait, was that? Yeah, he did go Ares and did a little bit of Cyclops harassment already on those villagers here. Revolt did. And I think he might just get another one. They do have AoE, so if you can find a clump of villagers, it's really good to use the basic attacks. The Nemean Rex is also gonna do that, and we've got a bit of a barracks units flood from our Isis. Wow, my mouse is going crazy. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that. I do apologize for the camera issues. Next tournament I'll have a new mouse. Well, these Axemen are gonna keep the hoplites at bay, which are one of the highly efficient units in terms of overall stats. So definitely cannot very easily flood into this. And with 2 Migos already done, I think Dorf has significant amounts of production already. So Revolt will have to build up a little bit more. He's really known for these tower spams, by the way. That is kind of defining Revolt. He's also going for a double fortress off the bat here. That's gonna make sure that he can keep pumping the heroes. Is that an empowered monument? No, it would have been for a moment there. Either way, the god path is going to be through Osiris. We've got a bunch of elephants up front, which are going to be fantastic for tanking. That does require maybe some prodromos, to be honest. And very interestingly, Revolt did not actually go for Hephaestus, so there's going to be no plenty wall spam from him. But rather, it's going to be all about those Chimera. So far, the kill death is, I think, looking good for Revolt. Like, he's holding the spam at bay, he's destroying the Axemen, especially using the Hypnospis, which have much better stats than them. And he's most certainly won the fight. With the backup of the Xodis with the Venomous trait, they're going to be able to delete all these units. And we've got already a really huge Pestilence here on the middle of the map. Dorf is hardly able to produce, and his front line is slowly but surely evaporating. Population has dropped down from pretty much maxed out to just 120. As much as he is trying to pump, these units are being made very slowly. And Revolt's archer count is growing, so every unit that pops out basically gets sniped by these boys. And all he has right now is the population cap advantage, right? Like, that's partly Isis, partly the fact that he completed TC already. He's gonna be using oh, that's completely missing, isn't it? That the Locust, they're not gonna target any of the units here, unfortunately, for Dornth. Yeah, that's very annoying for sure. Polyphemus is out, so he's gonna be acting as a bit of a tank in the middle of all this. But there's no myth units right now to clear, so you know, limited usefulness, but he's still decent against units, to be fair. There's quite a bunch of catapults here. They're super expensive, guys. 400 resources apiece, 5 population space. So if you get to kill those for little losses, it's totally worth it. Now, this is a situation with Deathmatch that if you have full population or close to it, and you're on top of the other guy's production, how are they gonna really make units and survive? The trick would be to garrison everything into the building, so make sure that the building rallies onto itself so that it has ample time to train the units. But if you pop them out, then the overwhelming army will just destroy you. So definitely a troublesome situation for Dornth to be in. He could be sitting between all of these Migdor strongholds, which were buffed, by the way, as of the latest patch. We're gonna see a use of Eclipse, which is gonna get him a lot of minions, of course, as these movies now have higher attacks. They're more likely to be able to kill off some of these Greek units and spawn a little army of minions. But if they get picked off themselves, of course, they're gonna be gone. And the poison is certainly helping out these Vexodis with that. We've got a bunch of Petrobulus, and holy crap, that's a wall of fortresses right there. Revolt. Yeah, he likes his buildings, guys. I said that about the towers, but I think in Retold, he's gonna be defined by his fortresses, perhaps. My goodness, this man builds a lot. He's got a pretty decent economy behind this as well, but you look at those resource storages right now, it's not that hot, actually. I almost want to say that Dornth is in a better situation. He's already used Prosperity in this one. He's still got 29 boys on that, and he's certainly got the favor for another Prosperity. Son of Osiris is ready to go, so this game could still swing. As hard as Revolt was winning the fight here, he's now kind of out of resources. So what does he do? This could be a tough one. Skills of Catavlopas are here for a little bit of Myth unit Pierce armor if he wants it. We also got the blue crystal shard for more wood and gold gather rate. And oh my god, this is gonna be grabbed soon, right? No, actually got reset. Sorry, it got reset by some catapults. Decent raid on the gold mine, but Prodromos are not very good raiders. So that's gonna be, it is what it is kind of situations. Earthquake is available to delete some buildings, perhaps a town center, perhaps this production base. But yeah, Revolt has to be careful. He doesn't have food anymore, which means he can't make any villagers, and trying to berry pick is really the worst of all worlds, because, you know, you look at this gather rate at 0.8 per second versus the hunters, which is 1 per second. Farmers would be probably even better. And he's also trying to make caravans, which is just not affordable under the current circumstances. There was again some sort of reset here. That town center is just not gonna get made. And Dornth has recovered. Now he's the one with 220 population against 80. Revolt using Curse to try to hold on to dear life. But I think what he has to really do is just hide behind these fortresses and chill. The villagers will get made over time. What are these guys doing? Oh, I think they got bothered by the mummy. Okay. No worries. Yeah, this Dornth guy is pretty good, eh? Of course, Revolt has Earthquake. He can slow everything down. He can sell a little bit of resources if he really wants to. He just did that. Got another usage of Locust Swarm. That's gonna kill quite a bunch of the villagers here. Not bad at all. Wow. That siege tower just deleting the Petrobulus. Not something you would see on the original game, but in Retold, siege is just so good against other siege. Also, the villagers have been nerfed against siege weapons themselves, so siege towers are a little bit more viable now. But you're still playing against Poseidon, right? If the fortress was destroyed, it would spawn so many militia. I think that's what Revolt is banking on right now, that he can just chill, make some archers with his remaining wood bank and gold income, rely on the buildings, get some free militia out. It's gonna be just fine. But with Dornth setting up more and more over time, it's got to be really careful with that. Oh, what is that? Mining camp. Yikes. Really far from the vills, but I mean, it's better to have it than to not have it, right? Why is Dornth so defensive? I think he needs to realize how much of an advantage he has and just push. Like, if all the boys were here, or even if they just stayed here and pushed this area, there is a town center not too far from the front lines. Not too many buildings in the way either. Legend says in the chat that Hellepolis ruined the siege towers. Yes, that's true. That's true. If you can get them out in numbers, the siege towers don't really have a chance because of their low health. These militia will definitely slow things down. If Revolt can just stack them up and save them for later, that would be huge. Of course, the chariots can't directly fight them unless they're microed. Yeah, there we go. Now he's saving them, see? I think he is. Oh, Chad Polyphemus just dunking on the catapult. Got the Peltas out as well. Excuse me, I'm having a coughing fit in the background. Oh, still not done apparently. Peltas were trading well until they weren't. Really, this mummy is just changing the dynamic here. With all the minions now out, they act as a front line, they force the Peltas to attack them. Then the other rangers will just pick them off. So yeah, slow death for Revolt, it looks like. Can he recover his economy in time? Because, I mean, he's got a similar income compared to Dornth. But Dornth could always use prosperity on repeat. So there's a lot more potential for his income here. Oh my god, we've got Yoshi in the chat. Some would say he's the GOAT of Deathmatch. Isn't playing today. Missed the first rev0lt tournament as a result. Big mistake. Fix it. The next one is 1,000 pounds, so I really hope the other DM players will join. Oh, nice. Nice kill on that mummy. I was just saying before that Polyphemus has some troubles getting there. But if there's not enough units, if there's not enough chariots there to snipe him, he's gonna get it done. And that was already a good trade. He was also tanking for so long. This was totally worth it. Alright, the catapults are nearly there to take down this town center. And this is being built and empowered as well. Once Dornth reaches the third town center state, once he has a decent trade route going, once he starts pushing with buildings, I'm not sure what Revolt can do really. He still hasn't used Earthquake, saving it for next game, as we like to say. Elephants are a really good idea in this situation, by the way, because of the Pelta spam, just not really being able to deal with it. Of course, the poison does help, and the poison does stack as well, so they're surprisingly good with Artemis. You can see they're kind of taking on the mummy there. It's kind of nuts. Even the catapult is poisonable, apparently. I do hope they change that. I mean, siege weapon getting poisoned is just silly. We've got the third town center up for our ISIS player, and already at 81 villagers, the maximum is 100. So once that's done, all the food income just goes into the bank, not into the villagers, right? So you can make a lot more food units at that point. And also there's the potential of grabbing this fourth town center in the middle of the map. That's the Megalopolis special. Let's see if this militia can save the situation here, but I'm not sure. There's a sound of Cyrus. The pump isn't quite that strong. Might have to use Earthquake on the defensive here. Because it does crush damage, right? That would still destroy these catapults. But now that Dornth is creeping forward with buildings, it's getting ever more scary. Revolt is recovering, however. He does have 43 people on food. That is pretty significant. Meanwhile, the rock just chilling there, not being used for any drops or stuff like that. You could always transport a bunch of camels in here, but I guess you could just run them in. You don't really need a rock for that. Locust Swarm is going to be going through the Toxotes, and Revolt needs to move. Yikes. It's hurting this army quite a bit. It's not gonna finish them, but like in conjunction with mummies, it's gonna do so much damage. And you can already see all these minions spawning from the Greek army. It's definitely annoying. Really, all that we need to see from Dornth is just having an army here. Committing to a little bit of camels, elephants. He can afford it now that he has 100 villagers. Like I said, all the income is now going towards the food bank. You can really see that going nuts. ISIS also has Flood of the Nile, so even better than normal. Oh, there was no monument. There was no monument, and this earthquake is actually stripping down the towers. Doing some decent damage to the town center as well. But obviously won't be able to destroy it. That will require some siege weapons. But hey, now that Revolt has the economy up, he can start building fortresses. He can start spamming siege weapons as well soon. If he only got Harmonious Necklace, man, that would be very helpful as well, because he has 44 people on gold. Another 10%. Gather rate would be like 48. Is Dornth over ecoed? Maybe on wood, yeah. I do think you can spend the food here. But the wood is a bit much. Oh, maybe the person operating the catapult gets poisoned, right? Makes sense. Maybe they should have shown the person operating the catapult in rev0lt. I don't know. It's not very important anyway. Alright, finally the addition of chimeras is on the table. Are we gonna see Hippeus or Hetyroi? Tyros. That would be very nice. Okay, here come the mummies and the minions in the trade route. That is a huge issue. Because these donkeys will start turning into minions and then there's gonna be an army. Oh man. Of course, the militia and the Toxolis together can take these mummies down without any issue. However, the front, there's more fighting there. Where is Son of Osiris, by the way? He's just chilling somewhere? He wasn't killed, right? Can't have missed that. Definitely some drop-offs here to fix. The farming situation is crazy. Does Dornth not know you can just spam click on the TC and it will place them perfectly? I think he's placing them manually there. Don't need to do that anymore. Alright, the Son of Osiris seems to be gone. What happened? Where is it? I don't know how that died. It seems impossible. But it did. But now Dornth is running low on resources again, despite the insanely high income. Not having secured the middle of the map, not having any buildings here is definitely problematic. And eventually these archers will push through and allow Revolt to take his third town center to get some progress done. A bit too many idols, boys. A little bit too many idols. We gotta fix that. But either way, Revolt is now trying to take this TC in earnest. That is 11 villagers. It's gonna be 12 soon, and they are Aphrodite villagers, right? So they've got this whole divine blood situation, makes them work 20% faster on buildings. Good garrison as well from Revolt. So this Locust Swarm really isn't gonna do much of a muchness. The archer ball should be able to protect this, but of course if there's a catapult... Hey, what's in this rock? Elephant? We might see a late game elephant drop. Okay. Didn't expect that, but sounds fun. Sounds fun. Really not much going on this front, just one building at a time getting destroyed. Revolt still pumping units from here, of course, so it's gonna be fine. As long as this CC goes up, it's gonna be once again equal-ish in terms of population. The Greek army is slightly stronger, especially when it's like Heltas versus Slinger fights. TC is now up. It's a little damaged, but that's okay. Definitely would like to see some camels, elephants, that kind of stuff. The rock did leave with just the 2 elephants. They could be going after the markets, I guess, but here's Polyphemus. It's gonna be a rock bonk, and it's gone. You don't see that every day. Even in DM. That's ridiculous. Okay, well the elephants are not gonna do anything here. Patrol blast push, very slowly getting things done. And we've got the first Hetyros of the game queued up, ladies and gentlemen. These boys are kind of nuts, but we're not going for any of the minor gods that help them. So this is the worst kind of Hetyros. When you go for Ares, Aphrodite, and Artemis, you don't get any of the special upgrades that will help them. So, you know, this is what it is. Oh well. Huge force on this side, and you know what, maybe that's not that many buildings. You could technically work through it, but the Prodromos are so terrible against buildings, and Revolt really needed his army here to hold back the Egyptian tide. Now these 3 elephants plus support can take down this TC. TCs are really weak in Greek Sword anyhow. Armies are bigger, TCs are weaker, they go down fast, so you're really going to be relying on the repair quite a bit. Here comes the cavalry. And you've got some more repair at 500 health. It looks like there will be a hold. But then again, the archers weren't shooting the base for the longest time. It could have been different in my view. But now Revolt's got it once again. He's held on. I'm sure at some point we'll see a push out of this. So long as he can get his rally points to work. I think he's having trouble with his rally points. Sometimes they just don't listen. So he would set a rally point and it wouldn't do what you tell it to. Okay, the Hetyros count is rising. This could be really cool. So if you can get them like onto a clump of villagers like these guys, oh god, here we go. He's finding them. These guys have AoE, right? So they're hitting multiple villagers at a time. You get like 4 or 5 of these boys running around finding villagers, and the villagers will just disappear. Yeah, it works so much better when there's a bunch of them. TC is fully repaired. Plenty of temples in the forward area as well. And if Revolt can move on into a greater food economy, then he could start pumping out a bunch of Chimera, which would be a really good addition to help the front line. So the camel riders are not gonna like that very much, I can tell you that. This would force Dornth into a bunch of priests, which are then not that great against the army. Might be worth a consideration. But then you have to obviously pray. It's not great for your pop efficiency, is it? More fortresses, more patrol blast. And we've got the slow push on. Nobody cares about the middle TC. Not even the Twitch chat, which is something to behold. The Twitch chat always tells people what to do. Why not now? You guys are slacking. Work harder. Anyway. Trade route is working hard at least. 57 gold per trip. Not too bad, not too bad. It could be more. Especially if empowered. But hey, ISIS's situation is that your monuments provide healing, right? So maybe building the monuments a little bit more forward to the fight, close to the fight, and making sure that those units are double healed, because the healing does stack from the aura, and also they block the god power cast, so there's not going to be an earthquake in the middle of the map, that's for sure. And also ISIS's bonus makes it so that empowered monuments gather at double speed, which is why Dornth has quite a bunch of favor, and he could be using it to get to the next Son of Osiris. Like ideally, I think you have a bunch of those. That could do pretty well, but hey, the catapults are getting the work done anyway. The TC is down. Wow. Could this be it? Could this work out? I think Revolt is still really rich, however. Vadi has just subscribed, so thank you very much for that. Did that play on screen? Or are we having a bug with that today? I think we are having a bug. Either way, appreciate it. Okay, looks like Revolt is retaking it with a large number of villagers now, and in rev0lt, the scaling of many villagers building something is actually really beneficial. So you end up shooting these TCs right back up if they're destroyed. Just need a large number of villagers, especially these Aphrodite ones. It will be back in no time. Paltas versus Tower, best matchup in the game. Not ideal. This fight is going on actually a really long time between these two. We might be the longest lasting series in this first round. But either way, if we miss some really good matches due to this, I will just look at the replay. Don't worry. We'll cover it. Team is gonna bonk the Migdor stronghold on the side, supported by some Kaltas again. There's no fortress here, and I'm a little bit sad to not see a single Helipolis today. I really like Helipolis in the Egyptian matchups. I think they do great. Oh god, that's a lot of towers. You can make 30 now in the latest patch, and 15 fortresses, so I don't even think that Revolt is close to the limit, by the way. I really don't think he is. This is also a lot of Migdals. Holy crap. Dornth is getting a little bit rich again, which is good. We do want a little bit of security in the bank. Try to not take it too far. If you do accidentally take it too far, then you can always make a wonder. Which, well, if you want some cheap Son of Osiris, then that could pay off really nicely. Somewhere, Osiris got a son. Very nice. Working his way to the next one already. Oh, the catapults are getting shanked. Nice will do the job. Right, is Dorf gonna take this or what? It's right there. Nobody's even looking at it. So our ISIS player could get a huge population lead here. got a little bit of disturbance here in the trade route, and it might be able to take a handful of donkeys out. But there's also enough archers here to handle it, so maybe not. It's just the axemen. They don't do much damage. Oh! That's a nice catch with the Sound of Osiris. Why is he leaving? Do it again. A little bit of an elephant pump, but I'm sure the fortress can handle it. Once it is destroyed, there's going to be so many militia. So it shouldn't be an issue at all. Plus, the fortress itself does have the little bonus damage against cavalry. Actually killing an elephant here. Son of Osiris is healing, not shooting. Shooting now, but it's very exposed here. Dorf needs to garrison, or he'll take a lot of damage. Ooh, that poison is nasty. So you know, Tyros raiding. Ah, Revolt's gonna eat the locust. Wow. Wow. You really want to step through it, not run from it. Because if you run from it in the same direction, it will chase you down. But if you just pass through, it will do a little damage. Which is totally fine. And that's right, the chat is pointing out tomorrow we are doing a lightning tournament. So please join that as well. Always great to see people in these alternative game modes. These two goats, they keep confusing me. I always think there's something going on there. But no, it's just the goats. How do you break through all this? Oh my god. Oh, Revolt has resources now. He's rich. He's doing the thing. Okay. When you creep forward with towers and fortresses, well, you're gonna need help from the gods, that's for sure. One building at a time, Revolt is taking over. Towers have 9 damage per shot, so that's 18 total damage per second, actually. Yep. How much better are ballista towers? They're 21.3. That's not bad at all. It's like a very high health static archer. Well, these guys don't have that much. But 2 archers. Ooh, Sound of Osiris showing his powers again. That chain lightning is so nasty. And being divine damage, you really can't do much about it. You can go high health units, I guess. A lot of locust swarms being used, but I just wonder if it would be better saving up for Son of Osiris. Like the last 3 locusts, okay, I guess the one with the archers that did a lot, fair enough. But wouldn't it be better to just save up for another Son of Osiris, and having 2 of them theoretically should be better than 1, right? I mean, it is better than 1, but compared to more locusts. And we've got a random resignation from Dornth. He has resources. What? I guess he just feels he can't push. And he is getting Vault Petrobolas in his face. So I guess that's problematic as well. But there was really no need to resign this. His composition was just kind of wishy-washy. And he needed a more solid push forward when he had a massive population lead of 220 something versus 80 or whatever that was. All in all, however, it was a very equal game. If we look at all these stats, they didn't outgather each other by too much. Except favor. Dornth had a lot of favor, but he mostly spent it on Locust rather than South Osiris, or Prosperity even. So we didn't see mercenaries, we didn't see a big mummy spam, or a consolidated push, and Revolt did just a little bit better with all those things. It is now. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game 2. We've got Revolt here in the blue color playing as Tor. He's already building a ton of longhouses, which is exactly what you should be doing. Just pump out those berserks because they train the fastest, and then they can build more stuff, which can mean more berserks and more buildings. On the other side, we've got Dornth in the red playing as Ra. Now, Ra can build very quickly as well. You just make this monument in the middle of your buildings. You empower it with your pharaoh, which didn't actually happen here. He's empowered the armory. But it actually should have been the pharaoh on the monument. And it looks like this Valkyrie is gonna get a second villager kill, which is actually hugely slowing down the operations here. Revolt is also looking for a little bit of a side build here on the gold mines. If he can secure as many of the gold mines as possible against Dornth, then Dornth is gonna have trouble actually getting that done. The resource gathering, that is. A lot of throwing X-Men getting queued up actually by Revolt and not Berserks as I had predicted. In terms of myth units though, it's gonna be the Valobor, which means he did pick Bragi. Every time a Berserk dies, he gets 1 favor for it. And he had better stats as well. I do wish he had just spammed a ton of Berserks into this, and sure, they will eventually lose to X-Men, all of them will die. But that's a sacrifice he should be willing to pay, because, well, they will go to Valhalla, is number 1, but number 2, you have so much favor for it, he'll have more builders. You have a faster town center, a faster mythic age. It's definitely worth it. Only game 2, that's right. Yeah, normally DM games are really short, but we managed to catch the one long one. They used to be really long in the old game. Like 20 minutes, 15 minutes on the short end. Now it's more like the quick ones are 10 minutes or less. And 15 is the normal. Grass already finished 2 series, oh my god. Oh, also if you have more berserks, they can take down these elephants pretty quickly. Finally, we've got the mythic age for Revolt, and he's starting to make a bunch of Huskar. He did go for tier, so it makes a lot of sense to get those Huskar going, as they'll be getting bonus damage against buildings. I do wonder if he'll get going with Fenris wolves. But so far I can only see the 1 temple. He does have plenty of great halls. It's a very good idea generally to have a bunch of Godi, because if you have Godi, it's just very difficult to reach them, right? Like everyone will focus on the front line. And it's not realistic to get slingers out against them, because they just get owned by melee units. So in the back there, they can just gather your favor, and then you use flaming weapons. Then you do it again, And you do it again. Really good stuff. Forest fire might actually be good here. This priest is getting burned. It's usually the priest doing the burning, no? Oh wait, different timeline. There's certainly not enough units here to go fight and build at the same time, but Revolt can do it here. Catapult's gonna stop him, however. Oh god, that's a lot of towers. You don't want to dive into that. And you know, not going Bather does mean that your raiding cavalry are kind of doo-doo, so that's something to watch out for Revolt. He definitely does not want to overmake them, but right now he's got the momentum, he's got the population advantage. This DC somehow went up at 169 health, which is kind of nice. Definitely need to repair that. Okay, he's on it. He's on the job. He's also got a single market trade route going, which is, you know, it's not much, but it's something. Pumping dwarves onto non-gold resources, I think that is a little bit questionable. They gather not that well from there, although Thor does make that a little bit better. I do think it's important here to use the dwarven mine as well, because, well, it's 6,000 gold right where you want it. It saves you an ox cart, and your dwarves will gather faster from it too. So it's kind of a no-brainer to use it as soon as you're mythic. This tower spam is terrifying, and it's all empowered, by the way, with this monument to gods, also empowering the other monuments, so favor is getting gathered a little bit faster here. But most importantly, these towers are just going ultra crazy right now with 32.8 DPS. The fortresses with 54. Just need to put a lighthouse in the middle, and then he can see the observable universe. Can create walls with the gold mine. Get out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, shifting sands is being used, of course. And hopefully we'll see Citadel being used on cooldown, of course. It's not that expensive. So if you can get 3 Citadels for yourself, then great. I think it's gonna be more like 2 Citadels here, though, as Revolt has his iron grip on this forward town center location. He is running out of wood, however. With minimal gatherers right now, it's not looking too hot there for Revolt. But if he can solve it, then it's all fine. About to lose some houses, however. It is interesting to not see Horus from our Ra player, by the way. It is going to be an Osiris game. At some point we'll have a Son of Osiris. And nothing's going to happen here anytime soon. It's too many buildings. And they're all empowered. Of course, beating this army is going to be no problem for Revolt. Rebuilding the houses should be no problem ditto. As far as relics go, we have Dwarven Calipers for cheaper siege weapons. And there was a relic here that got picked up already, though. And we've got a quick Fimmelvin to use, but Dornth is obviously quick getting the garrison done. The Citadel is getting empowered as well, and it's got 84.2 DPS while that's on, so it's gonna absolutely delete these. It takes a little longer here because it's not empowered, of course, but that's fine. Yeah, the wolves are gone, everyone can go back to work. Way before the god power expires. 2 markets are better than 1. Ideally, there's some defenses nearby as well. And buildings. Because you can bet that those shifting sands will return. It's just 50 favor. It's rather cheap. Especially with all these empowered monuments. Son of Osiris now putting in the work. But I think it's time for Revolt to cast the flaming weapons. Let's see it. No, now he doesn't have population. Now he needs to rebuild. It would have been good at the very start of that fight. I would love to see some Jarls here, actually, because while all these buildings will do bonus damage against cavalry, it's the units that can't handle it. There's only one camel here. So Jarls would be fantastic tanks, and during flaming weapons they can get a lot done as well. And Revolt has 600 favor, man. Like, this is gonna be flaming weapons and Fimbulwinter on cooldown. Is he waiting for this to come back? I mean, it is just a little bit over 2 minutes away. Which is fair enough. Right, you see, guys, 2.31 per second. 1.54 per second. What would you rather gather from? This one. That's why you put it down right away in Mythic. Well, Revolt is kind of getting an efficient fight here, but those slingers are definitely able to wipe out the throwing axes if they target. But if the cavalry can distract from all this, then it's kind of beneficial for Revolt, of course. He's trying to do some ram attacks. And the best part of having Dornth boxed in like that is that it's not really easy to gather gold. Already the host cards are on the case anyway. These villagers are super exposed and they are going to be going down. So I think a resource starvation is what we're actually looking at here. This back gold mine will expire very quickly. And then in the War of Attrition, we've already seen that Revolt generally does better than Dornth, right? Villagers certainly getting thinned out here, but the Axemen will be able to clean up the infantry. That's not an issue at all. There's the flaming weapons though, might change things a little bit. Of course, it doesn't affect the ballista. It does affect these guys. It's gonna be important to move away the Sound of Osiris from this, because you really don't want to mess with the flaming weapons. The cavalry now joining in. And also got the crab on the case with the Mingo Stronghold. The ballistas have been buffed in the recent patch as well, so they are now actually pretty decent with crush DPS. Still takes long to get the work done, and they do target units, so you have to micro them onto buildings here and there, but hey, good progress is being made for Revolt. I think he's definitely in the lead here. He's got enough favor for the Fimbulwinter again, so he can do it whenever he likes. And then flaming weapons will be back in just 150 seconds. So cooldowns are really quick in the end. You do get to see a lot of god power spam as a result. And Norse in particular gains so many resources over time as you just fight. Which you need to do, obviously. Holy crap, that's gonna be a lot of buildings. This is gonna be a ballista push. So many slingers! What is going on with that? They're not gonna be able to delete the buildings. I mean, they got some divine damage, but that is way too many slingers. Here comes the ballista push, gamers. We're doing it. It is happening. It's absolute tower defense here. Oh my god, no, these units are just melting away. And there's just Norse buildings. Dornth is absolutely boxed in. He's on his last gold mine. The villagers aren't even working there. But yeah, Once that's out, I don't know where he goes. There's nothing left. It's gonna be more and more important to have these catapults take down these buildings and actually take a good fight, take this TC, and perhaps try to trade to the front TC, although it's not really better. Yeah. Probably should just empower the market then. But that's a very small trade route, you can't really sustain from that. And now taking out the catapults. Although the catapults could one-shot the ballista, they themselves have now enough crush damage that they can also threaten the catapult back a little bit. If you don't watch, your catapults are gonna disappear. Population-wise, Revolt is sustaining rather well. Just needs a handful of rams down here, really. The walls are almost broken. And then you can go after the houses, reduce the population cap of the other guy. Although right now, Dornth isn't using his full population cap. The ballista are getting more and more troublesome. And they're certainly chipping away at his army and resources here. So Osiris now getting targeted. Oh god. It's taking a lot of damage. Hey, forced the ballista to take some nickel fire. That's definitely not comfortable. As I said earlier, the answer to this is Jarl. They'll be able to tank it. They'll be able to take down the ranged units. But the addition of the rams is also really nice. Just take down the buildings like that, and then the ballista can get the units. Dorf is still rising in population, but for how much longer? This gold mine is about gone. 1,000 left in it. What then? What happens after? What are these farms? What are these farms? He's no space for farming. Oh no. And he's never used rain so far. Granted, Ra is really good at berry picking and hunting, so there's no reason not to use that. I think South Osiris is gonna go down here, guys. It's a little bit too many goatee. He's microing. But still, there's not enough support. Norse army is just so much larger, and now they're breaking into the main base as well. 3 relics in his Dwarven horseshoes, SDS car, and Kairos Oboe. All of that could be stolen by Revolt if he so chooses, but it's not going to be necessary as Dorf is going to resign. And we're going to be moving into the next series already with Revolt moving on. Dorf has another life, of course, in the losers bracket. It's a double elimination tournament. But yeah, off we go to the next one. Well done by Revolt. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.